Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I took a few weeks off of uploading because I've been working behind the scenes on taking ownership of another new car. Now, I have short-term plans with this car as well as long-term plans, and I'm going to touch base a little bit in this video on my short-term plans. The long-term plans may change in the future. Obviously, you guys know that I do like to mess with Hondas, and that is majorly what we work on this channel. And I'm sure you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of the video, it is another Honda. So we'll just get right into it. I recently picked up another 8th gen Honda Civic Coupe. This is a 2008 non-SI, unfortunately. The car was originally owned by my mother. She bought it new back in 2008, and she's been the original owner ever since. Since then, she has upgraded to a newer Civic, and she had no use for this any longer. So I went ahead and worked out a deal with her. I figured it'd be a good opportunity to make a video and talk a little bit about my short-term plans with the car and what we're going to be doing with it here in the near future. With that being said, let's go ahead and check the car out. So here's the car. Like I said, it's a 2008 Honda Civic Coupe FG1. The car is in pretty rough condition. It's been used and abused over the years, and it was her daily driver for 15 years now. As you can see, it does have quite a bit of paint fade, and it has a few things mechanically that I will have to address, but for the most part, it isn't all that bad, and I think it would be pretty cool to see the car back in good running condition. I personally have a lot of history with this car, riding in it to and from school back in the day, obviously. My mother actually lives about 5 hours from me, and she actually drove the car all the way here to get it to me, and she said it made the drive just fine, so it seems to still be a solid runner, or whatever you would call it. Like I said, it does need a few things mechanically. It has quite a few oil leaks, and definitely needs some servicing as it's been neglected over the years mostly. I'm definitely excited to dig into this car mechanically and figure out some of its issues that it's had for a long time now. Years before, she had issues with the car, and I had diagnosed it for her, but the issues were never resolved, so it'll be cool to finally get to those. Speaking of issues, the car actually did come with a few parts that were never installed, and I will actually go over that here in a moment. Here you can see how the Midwestern roads and winters have gotten to the car. It's got its fair share of rust, but these 8th gens all rust out in these areas. As well as the paint fade. These cars are notorious for the clear coat failing. If you guys are new to the channel, I recently just picked up a 2007 Honda Civic Coupe SI that I have been uploading videos on recently, so I'm definitely not new to the 8th gen platform. Here you can see more clear coat failing, and this is the part that I actually really can't wait to dive into. The brakes on this car are absolutely shot, and it will be a huge transformation to have a proper brake service done on this car. You can see that the wheels have just taken a beating from brake dust. Some of these rust spots are actually uncommon for this car, which don't make any sense, but I don't think it got washed very often. But as much bad as there is about the car, there is actually a few good things that it came with. It came on a matching set of newer all-season tires. They just recently had the windows tinted all around 15%, including the windshield. Currently, the car does have 146,000 miles, as you can see. I'm not worried about the mechanical condition of this car whatsoever. I will just have to put some work into the interior, as it is pretty bad. The car also came with a remote start that was recently installed. As much as I don't believe in those, I think it will be handy in the winter months to warm the car up while you're inside. And that's what leads me to my short-term plans with this car, and that is to use it over the winter so that I can park my SI and further my modifications with it without relying on it being my daily driver. So I figured this car would be the perfect candidate to fall into my ownership so that I can daily drive it throughout the winter and make some of the very necessary repairs that it needs. As you can see here, the interior is used up pretty bad on this car, and I may end up hitting up my friend that does detailing and just have him do a whole overhaul on this car, because having a dirty car on the interior is one of my pet peeves. I've been driving shit boxes for years now, but I've never had a car that was bad on the inside, if that makes any sense. Coming back to another good thing about the car came with a whole trunk full of parts that never got put on, so that would be cool. I can just go ahead and throw all these things on here. It did come with valve cover gasket, 2 brand new front calipers, came with some coolant, some spark plugs, some good spark plugs, wheel bearing, 2 sets of rotors, and 1 rear rotor. And it also came with a new jack, so I guess we'll go ahead and use that. Why not? And this type of stuff is fun to me because I don't have to spend any money or wait for the parts to show up. They're already in my possession, so I can just put those on in my free time and be good to go. Here is another look at those tires. Like I said, they have light miles on them, and you can see they're from 2022. So they're not old at all, just a year old on the tires. So that about covers everything I want to mention about this car in this video. My first order of business with the car is to actually take everything that isn't broken from the car and transfer it to my SI. There is a few things on my SI that is broken, so I'm basically just going to take the best of both cars. For example, when I bought my car, it came with these heinous eBay Halo style headlights that I absolutely cannot stand. So I may just end up trading headlights with the other car to have the stock ones. And the right rear tail light on my car is cracked, so I will be trading that with the other cars. So that's about where I'm going to wrap this video up. If you guys like the video, go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. And if you guys are interested on seeing the transformation of this car, consider staying tuned for the future uploads. But as always, you do you, and thanks for watching.